Do we really need an agreement in place, or should we simply pivot and create a containment strategy that isolates them completely, destroys any attempt for them to rebuild their military capability or nuclear facility, and restrain the Strait? There are some people who will look at the situation from purely political preconceived notions. But the reality is that America did what needed to be done to ensure stable peace in the Middle East. Now, they must ensure that it remains viable and Iran is unable to backtrack. They must not be able to exploit their neighbors, and no one should be apathetic to them. They are who we thought they were. Radical fundamentalists in that region of the world are not able to be trusted and are extremely dangerous and evil. We cannot ignore that cold hard fact, expecting a change of heart simply because they lost so much. You can eliminate most of a colony of pests, but the remaining will continue down the same path. We should be open to diplomacy, but not take the foot off the gas. We should be less concerned with accommodating their needs than holding them accountable and ensuring that they turn over the nuclear materials and conform to normal behavior expected in the world arena.
The main issue, as we talked about a bit last week, is that we are not negotiating with a party that can be trusted. And at the same time, we have made the mistake in believing that hope is an effective strategy. While people do not want to negotiate with the proverbial gun to their head, we need to negotiate with maximum pressure on the Iranian regime. In hindsight, we should have continued to destroy their capabilities, infrastructure, and economic resources until they completely and utterly accept the terms. Giving them space to breathe allowed them to recover some missiles not destroyed. Allowed them to rebuild what they could. It may not have been the best approach. An agreement is not essential, but it does help to demonstrate a change of direction. But they agreed to terms before and did not honor those ones either. So we cannot be surprised when a pest shows pest behaviors. We need to think about effective ways to address the situation and ensure that they are not able to recover except on our terms.
We let hope blind us in the same manner that it blinded the Obama team. The only difference, it appears, is that we were a bit proactive in directly addressing the threat by destroying the sites and the leadership in place, rather than simply offering a bribe, which simply funded terrorism. We should not let our foot off the gas, bring them back to the Stone Age, and allow Israel to address their proxies. Iran is not the victim, as some on the left may want to make them appear. They are the guilty party, and are being held accountable. When the good do not act, evil wins. We cannot let evil win domestically or abroad.
Americans do not want wars forever. Neither Republican nor Democrats want never-ending conflicts. But we do not want to ever see tragedy here at home because of a threat that was not addressed. We lived through that before. And we cannot let our leaders make that mistake again. I think it is important that we have a plan on criteria where we are willing to end or not escalate the conflict. In reality, the holding out for an agreement that will not be honored may be unreasonable. Do we just have a monitoring program in place if we see any resemblance of restarting the nuclear program, then strike the sites and destroy their capabilities? While I think it is important that we were firm with our NATO allies to wake up and live up to their commitments, I think we could have used a more accommodating approach to invite them into being part of the solution, reminding them of their inability to address the Ukraine crisis, and this can be something they can redeem themselves with. NATO does need to do more on defense and should not be offended that someone finally held them accountable. In this case, they could have shown the world that they could be allies and able to prove valuable to world affairs. But they chose to be petulant.
I do not think that we can expect NATO to change its color. Despite this being a global threat, we rose to the challenge and need to have a strategy to resolve it. Our European allies are not all of a sudden going to prove reliable, especially after being pointed out for being unreliable. We know who they truly are. The focus should be the regional allies, who seem to be more aligned with the need to deal with this threat. Having an environment that holds Iran accountable and keeps a program of surveillance in place is important. There is no room to give them the benefit of the doubt going forward. If they want to have an epiphany and come to their senses, then I think everyone would welcome it. But I think we should just be realistic and make sure that they are never a weapon of mass destruction nor the means or resources to wage war.